My husband has a second family. The ultimate cliche has happened in my life, and I'm absolutely broken. My husband, my rock, has been having an affair for over 17 years. We have been married for over 25 years. We have 3 beautiful children, 2 in college and 1 who still lives at home, but turns out, he's had another set this whole time. My husband is an insurance broker. He has multiple branches over the country which he spends week on, week off. Turns out on his week off, he's been with his other family in Albuquerque, where his other branch is. He's got a fiancée, whom he has 2 kids with, both in their early teens. I found out when I went to make a new Facebook account, and when I searched my husband's first name, another profile, with another last name popped up, and through that profile were the links to his fiancées and his other kids' Facebooks. My husband is currently with said family, and I know it's him because his most recent post is a photo of him and that other family eating dinner. Among those photos were photos of him kissing the girl, and him being fatherly with kids who look nearly identical to my husband. I am absolutely broken. Almost every part of me wants to scream in his face and reprimand him for ruining my life, but another part of me wants to pretend to be ignorant and let it be, because our life is peaceful. He's good with our kids. He's the main source of financial income. He's loving, but he's also all those things to another family. Not only would I be tearing a gaping hole into my family, I'd be opening up a vortex for them too. My heart is in shambles. I've never cried so much in my life. My youngest son is currently on a graduation trip with friends, and I'm alone till my lying, cheating, bastard husband comes home. My life is absolutely wrecked. It's literally a movie plot. I'm hoping he'll just come home and it'll be a big misunderstanding why he's kissing a woman with a ring on her finger. I don't know what to do anymore. I'm tempted to pack a bag and just leave. I can't be in the home where we've raised our kids, where we've spent every Christmas for the last 26 years and where I've been alone on New Year's taking care of our babies, while he works his butt off. I just can't. I want to leave a note for him to come home to, hurt him like he's hurt me, but I don't think that's possible. I don't know how I'll ever face him again. Update 1, this is a follow-up. Firstly, thank you so much for the advice. I'm not in any means good with legal things, so all legal advice has been noted. I've rung an attorney. We are discussing the process. He's also told me to gather as much evidence as I could, such as photos of the Facebook pages, text messages, and recent flight information. All has been put into a folder and I'll present it to a judge or jury when we go into some sort of divorce proceeding. Again, not fully clear with specifics, but it's a good sign. I've also been in contact with the other woman. I've told her, explained the situation, and she was equally as distraught. From what I'm aware, she's financially independent from him and they don't share property, so it seems very clean-cut on her behalf. My husband is aware of the fact I know, and is currently staying in a hotel, but he is unaware the other woman knows. I confronted him when he walked through the door. He started to cry and plead, and it was honestly kind of pathetic. I mean, I was crying too, but I've chosen to think of him as a pathetic coward for doing this, because he is. But anyways, I have my name on the property, we both do, so it's not like I can just kick him out, but he's chosen to stay away for my sake. All I am thinking is if he chose to stay away for my sake, maybe being faithful for my sake should have been considered too. Despite this, he's staying away. He's in a hotel downtown where he calls every few hours to check up. I'm no longer sad. Well, I am, but I'm way more furious than sad currently. My kids still have no idea, and my youngest thinks my husband is just working more in Albuquerque because of a business problem. I'm still confused at how to tell them they have 2 half-siblings, and 2 parents, one with an extra backup parent. I'm just feeling very, very unappreciated and unwanted lately, but your kind words have been so helpful. Thank you guys so much, much love. Update 6 months later. I won't be going into details about the divorce because it is still ongoing, but do rest assured it is happening. A few people seemed worried I was going to stay with him, and for a period of time I would have, but no, we are divorcing. On that note, I have completely cut contact with him. Our contact is through lawyers only. He officially moved out of the house, and my middle moved back in to help out over the break. My kids have, to my knowledge, cut most contact with him, but I haven't asked as it is not my place. Also, custody isn't a problem because my youngest turned 18 recently. We have also been in contact with the other family and we even spent Christmas together. Despite being a little awkward at first, me and his ex-fiancé are trying our hardest to bring the kids together harmoniously. And that'll be the last update. I'm logging off of Reddit now. I will continue living my life. I'll try to support my kids through theirs, but I'll forever be thankful for the support and love you all have shown. Yours truly and sincerely, OP.
My mom is an influencer and I hate her for it. My mom, 45 female, has become a Facebook influencer. I, 16 female, used to not care when she took photos, but it's gotten crazy. Everything she does is now posted or live streamed online. Even if somewhere says don't photograph or film, she'd find a way to film it. It was annoying at first, but now it's downright frustrating, especially since 3 months ago when she got really into it. I also completely understand the irony of me posting this on Reddit, but I just need someone to hear me out. I declined my 16th birthday party, so she threw a giant party claiming it was for her anniversary, my brother's graduation, and my birthday. There were 150 guests, and between my dad, my brother and myself we only covered 30 of them. I don't even know how much of that party she wasn't on her screen for since she was constantly filming and uploading it, along with a lot of her friends. I really wanted to perform there. I practiced for months, but the idea of her filming and uploading it made me so nervous I backed down. I don't like being photographed or filmed, even as a kid I didn't. Another time we went on vacation and every second it was filmed. When we got to a hotel, we weren't allowed in until she recorded the room even if we just drove for 8 hours and wanted to sleep. She'd take her time in areas she could photograph even if it was a actual thing, but when me, my dad and brother tried to enjoy a non-aesthetic place, I felt rushed like she wanted to just go. If we got food she didn't let us eat or move the food until photos and videos were taken, even having us pose with the food or announce what it is. That one annoyed me. One time we traveled by car and it was over 10 hours since we ate. When we got a chance to eat dinner she took my food before I got a chance and was recording it saying things like, "Oh how delicious," and I was so tired and hungry I just gave up and started tearing up. On the vacation when we went on a boat, she was live streaming, she was calling out followers thanking them and saying how much she loved them all. The boat was going to check out Alcatraz and I thought it was so disrespectful especially because it was a public area and not everyone wants to be filmed, and also the history of the island makes me feel that it needs to be respected and not treated as a background to a video. One thing that made me want to write this post was because I was trying to get a drink out of the soda machine, she had me pour out the ice from the cup so she could record me doing it for a shot. I have a certain ice to soda ratio I like and it was perfect the first time. After that I didn't get it correct and it was just a damper on an already not so great day. After that she held up my soda and was showing it off to the camera and I had to just wait until she was done. Another thing is I've started to envy her followers. She gives them so much more attention than me. She goes off on my dad about how much closer I am with him than her, but I asked to watch a movie with her and she declines. Her reasoning is always that she has a live stream later she's hosting, or a video to film, or her followers are live. She's turned me down so many times I stopped even trying to hang out with her, since if I do get her around she's on her phone. One time I asked for her opinion and she snapped that she was tired from her job, and that she needed time to post. She live streams so much that I sometimes have to skip meals because she can't have the background noise and she live streams in the middle of the kitchen. She live streams for hours and if she had any issue with the internet, she makes everyone power down their devices so she can get a better connection. The most attention she's given me recently was recorded. I was in a dance class and the only time she looked at me was when she was recording what I was doing. The instructor praised me to them for my work multiple times and she didn't even notice. I checked and she was watching a live stream. I feel like I'm going crazy. When she posts about me I feel exposed like I have no control. My dad keeps saying she views the world through a lens and I have no clue if this is how parents are nowadays, but it's terrible. I'm so sorry if anyone else has to grow up like this.
I'm married and I tested positive for an STI. Both my husband and I had our V cards when we met and we're in a monogamous relationship. We just celebrated 4 years together. None of this makes sense. Truthfully, I don't believe he cheated. I know I probably sound like I'm in denial, but even my doctor seemed confused at the test result. A month ago, I had an IUD inserted. I had issues arise from it so we decided to get it removed. Because of these issues, we didn't really make love. We did 1 or 2 times with protection in the week after the IUD was inserted, and once without protection the night or two before my IUD was removed. At the time of removal, I mentioned I thought I might have an infection like BV and was checked for it. Here's the thing, when I first got the IUD in, I tested negative for any infections or STIs in general. Now, when the IUD was removed, I tested positive for BV and an STI known as Mycoplasma genitalium when he sent the swabs or samples or whatever you call it off to the lab. So, I would have had to have contracted it during the time between me getting my IUD inserted and before its removal. Thing is, that doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense for my husband to have cheated at all. I can't even imagine that possibility realistically but also logistically. He's been with me unless he was at work. We live 10 to 15 minutes away from his job and he leaves 20 minutes before work, which gives him enough time to park, walk to his unit, and clock in. He arrives home on time every night and in uniform leaving straight from work to home. I see his schedule and his pay stubs. I know those are the hours he's working. He gets 1 paid break where I bring him food or coffee or we chat through text the whole time essentially. Other than going to work, he's been home. Anytime we went out together. There's literally no time he could have even cheated if he did. The only other times he's been alone was to pick up a curbside grocery order about 10 minutes away, 10 minutes back and he was back home within 25 to 30 minutes, or when he picked up one of our 2 children from a relative's house and went straight there and straight back. My doctor said he's sending another sample to the lab for testing and I'll get the results back in a few days. I was a bit caught off guard in the clinic and I did cry. But, as I said, even my doctor said he didn't believe the results at first and wanted to run them again because I tested negative at the IUD insertion. They just needed a new sample to test again since they couldn't reuse the one they had. I told them it has to be a mistake, it literally doesn't make sense. When I got home, I was crying and my husband seemed concerned for me and asked what the doctor said. He just knew I got a call to come in about some results. I was struggling to find the words and was just crying and hesitating before I could speak when he hugged me and held me tight and asked what happened. That was actually when I was able to spit it out. I wanted his comfort so bad but couldn't stand it if he was a cheater. I said, Please be completely honest with me, did you cheat? He wasn't defensive. He wasn't angry. He didn't even hesitate. He just looked me square in the eye and said so confidently no. I have never cheated. I told him about the STI result. He repeated that he didn't cheat, and as we talked more, he seemed genuinely confused. It's like he went through all the emotions I did when I got the news. He offered up his phone and said he has nothing to hide. He wanted to get tested right away to prove he didn't spread it to me and reassured me he didn't cheat. He even gave me his phone for me to share our locations with each other. I told him to wait for the next results before getting tested because I'm sure I'm just one of those rare cases of a false positive. He didn't seem angry at me for asking. He was actually really confused as to how I could have gotten it, and it was literally us just trying to give theories as to how I got a false positive for hours, but all of them felt like a stretch. We discussed the possibility of a false positive. We discussed how there must be a mistake. My doctor said it can only be contracted through lovemaking. A swapped sample or something. My husband, who works in healthcare, understands that despite their best efforts to prevent them, accidents can still happen due to human error. We keep telling ourselves it has to be some kind of human error. I know he didn't cheat. He couldn't have. I know I didn't cheat. Even he knows that, with both of us pointing out we've been together except when he's working. I know he couldn't have cheated. It doesn't make sense. None of this makes sense. I know people in love still cheat, but we literally haven't had any problems in our relationship. We very much love each other. I can't see him hurting me like this. I just don't know what to think. It all feels so unreal. We're both really confused and I feel at a loss for how to go from here. What happens if I get another positive result? What happens if I don't? What's scary is thinking I'll get a positive but have no clue how it got there, especially if he tests negative, cause truthfully, I can't even see logistically how he could have cheated when he's been home with me except for work. None of this makes sense.